It's Christmas for boxing fans as the undisputed title is on the line in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk. You can watch the pay-per-view. Click the link in the description below. Live on DAZN. Use our link if you care about the paying game. If you don't, then you know where you can go. Just think about it, because we need the clicks and that. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of feelings going around right now. I'm very feel. It's a lot of nerves, apparently. And particularly, nerves coming from Tyson Fury, according to Eddie Hearn.
I thought he looked a little bit nervous last night, which I think is a really good thing.
Is it a good thing? Have we ever seen Tyson Fury truly nervous before a fight before? Now, Eddie might be right. Maybe Tyson Fury is nervous, and some fighters do perform better when they're nervous. And we'll take a look in a bit of pre-fight press conferences from previous fights to see how his behavior is changing, to see if that's actually going to help him or not. But one man's behavior who's definitely changed is Big John Fury. Now, Big John is always making a lot of noise, pushing and shoving and making himself center of attention before Tyson Fury fight. But this time, he took it a step too far. He stuck the nut on this kid, didn't he? Fury! 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 This is a guy who's a similar size to Big John, not the same size, but similar. Goes head to head with him, doesn't stick the nut on him. Fury! It's so silly, this, you know. Just randomly shouting your last name at people. That's mental, isn't it? But they are fighting men, aren't they? Bless them. And fighting men will sometimes do things like scream their last name in people's faces just to prove that they're really hard. And if I know anything about being really hard, I feel my hardest when I'm screaming my last name. Sometimes I scream my last name just to get hard. I don't. I'm sorry. That was a weird one. Tyson, he's our man. If he can, that's what we're doing here. Big John, the predator in the wild here, sees the smaller man and thinks, I'm gonna do you. What the fuck? He really stuck the nut on him, you know. And it's so funny because this skinny little bastard is totally unfazed. Good for you, bro. Good for you. Yes. You tell him, I've busted bigger nuts at the strip club, you little bastard. It's mad though. He really fucking puts his whole fucking body weight into this. I don't know why John feels the need to do that. The guy was like looking at him like that. He wasn't getting in his face, confrontational, like there was no like, do you want to go? Nothing like that. Just completely unnecessary. And he's already covered in his own blood. Now, I've never been one for like randomly hitting people smaller than me just to prove how hard I am. I don't know how this works. I've got to be honest. I was thinking that when you headbutt the other guy, he's the one who's supposed to bleed afterwards, not you. That's not great, is it? Not for the reputation. It's bad enough Big Joe Egan has been putting it on him across social media for months now. Misfits Boxing put the offer on the table, didn't want to know. This is after John's giving it all the big licks about how he'll fight any man born from his mother. And the only two people we've seen him actually square off against in the last, what, 5-10 years was Carl Frampton, who's knee-high to a grasshopper, bless him. Great boxer, by the way, but obviously John has a massive size advantage on him. And now this random little kid from Ukraine. What kind of party are we talking here, John? How deep was it?
How deep was it? 3 or 4 brasses every night. 2 or 3 bottles of whiskey. If there's any drugs going, I'd have them and all.
I've just stumbled across this video when I interviewed John. You have 3 or 4 hookers in a night, 2 or 3 bottles of whiskey, and if there's any drugs going, I'll have them as well. It's weird because on the one hand, he's so fucking out of order, but at the same time, he's the most entertaining son of a bitch you ever seen in your life. But some people are taking him to task on it, namely Carl Froch.
Who's gone over, he's having a little push, and they're not even having a push, having a little walk.
We can all have a push and a pull.
What an idiot. How can you drop the nut on somebody, the guys go kiss, and end up worse yourself? That's usually a devastating blow. That's a blow, actually, that sends you straight to jail, usually. Should be getting arrested, should be getting done for assault. I don't know what's happening, but it's all being swept under the carpet. I've
got to say, Carl has got a point here. Like, if you stick the nut on someone like that, unprovoked, probably should be getting arrested. If he comes up to you and he starts it and then you smash him one, I'm totally fine with that. But that was just bullying, wasn't it?
Headbutting somebody from the other team and thinking it's okay.
And on that, this is the most prestigious boxing event maybe ever. 2 undefeated great champions coming together to put on a hell of an event in a place like Saudi Arabia, where the Fury lot and the Usyk lot, they're all representing their own countries. And John Fury, not only has he made his family look bad there, but he's made the whole fucking UK look like a bunch of football thugs. Oh, it's okay because we're all fighters. It's not though, is it? Because the guy you stuck the nut on doesn't look like a fighter to me. He looks malnourished. So Big John has responded in Big John fashion.
Here's where our heart lies. Forget Great Britain. It's our heart. Here, look, beating me body is in Saudi Arabia.
It's great that he loves Saudi Arabia. Good for him. But equally, you're slagging Great Britain off. Was it that when all of the British audience bought 80,000 tickets and sold out Wembley back to back for 2 fights that shouldn't have even been made for Tyson Fury, lining your son's pockets? Were we crap then, were we? I don't fucking think so. And look, I know what he means about the Brits, right? We love hating on people. It doesn't matter whether you're David Beckham, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, any great sports star, they all get a wave of hate at some point in their career because British people love tearing people down. That is partially true. But equally, the Furies have had a lot of support from the Brits. And I don't think he's being fair at all there.
Carl Froch is a bum.
He is a boxing Hall of Famer, so I really don't know how you can call him a bum.
He'll get what the little men get. Bush.
John Fury there saying he's going to nut Boxing Hall of Famer Carl Froch. And obviously, Carl has responded.
Don't come anywhere near me, nowhere in the vicinity within my jab, or you will be getting ironed out. You'll be unconscious. You'll be snoring before you hit the floor. Big John Fury, the bare-knuckle champion, the fighting man.
John had also called out Tony Bellew, and I think Tony Bellew's even more of a psycho than Carl Froch. So, like, just pick your battles. Don't go near them. Just my advice. And you've got to think about all of this from Tyson Fury's point of view, right? You're preparing for the biggest fight of your life. You go into an interview for 5 minutes, come out and your dad stuck the nut on the kid from the other side out of nowhere. Let's see what he's got to say about it.
I saw some idiot chatting shit and he got banged. End of.
Chatting shit, got banged. That really sounds like the guy was in his face fucking offering him out instead of pretty much minding his own business. Good reframing there.
What a way to sell you. This is show business.
Yeah, he really sold the fight there because the first undisputed title fight for the last 25 years between two undefeated fighters, one who was previously cruiserweight undisputed champion of the world as well, but we need John Fury to stick the nut on some undersized man in order to hype the fight up. I'm not really sure that was needed, but okay.
We're not here when it's not a political room of educated men.
Yeah, no shit, bro.
These are fighters teams, fighters things. What a way to sell the fight. My dad's an excellent salesman and he's done a fantastic job. So big up John Fury. Get up, son.
I can't believe that we're like praising John for that. That's mad, that. Like, Tyson said he's not a politician there. You could have fooled me because that was very political. The way you're now praising your dad for doing something that the rest of the boxing world are cringing at and wishing that this man wasn't bringing boxing into disrepute right now. And it's funny because even Eddie Hearn, now he's getting pally with the Furies and now wanting to do business later on down the road, try and make this big fight happen. Even he's like, well, emotions are what they are. And I'm like, you fucker. A year ago, you would have slated him for that. But let's get back to the main story, which is Tyson Fury actually nervous for this fight? Because one of the reasons people think he might be is the way he's talking about Oleksandr Usyk. And I'm not an expert in, you know, psychology, body language and all of that sort of stuff, but one thing that does seem pretty common sense is to look at a fighter's previous patterns of behavior and look for any changes. And if we do know one thing about Tyson Fury, we know he always takes the absolute piss out of his opponents, insults them, belittles them in order to hype himself up, show that he's the dominant one, and to not give the other guy any credit. And he seems to be doing the exact opposite of that right now.
I'm putting Usyk as the best man I've ever fought. Better than Klitschko, better than Wilder, better than White, better than Chisora, better than them all. He's the best man I've ever fought. Now,
I know there will be instances that people can pull up and reference and say, well, he praised this fighter then, and he praised that fighter then, and he praised that fighter then. But this is different. He praised Francis Ngannou because he was trying to hype the fighter because he thought no one would pay for it because it was a heavyweight MMA fighter and not an actual boxer. He praised Eric Chisora because everyone was shitting on the fight because he'd already beaten him twice. And he had to actually try and help hype the fight up by praising this guy. Generally speaking, if he thinks you're a threat, more often than not, Tyson will belittle his opponents. Look at Deontay Wilder. Look at Klitschko. He went above and beyond to try and shout them down, ridicule them, insult them, belittle them. There was no praise. This fight is on that level in terms of everything at stake, how good his opponent is, and he's behaving differently this time. For a fighter like Fury, who relies heavily on the mental games and the mental side of his boxing, to then change his behavior after 20 years of boxing out of nowhere, maybe he does realize I'm in a real fucking fight here and I better praise this guy now so that if I do lose, at least I can say, well, I told you how great he was. But then if I win, I've been praising him, so this ranks even above all my other wins. It's called hedging your bets. And let's have a look at how Usyk's responding by comparison.
How good do you think Tyson Fury still is now?
I don't think about Tyson Fury.
I never think about for my opponent. Yeah, I think my fight when I go to the brink now. Why I think for Tyson.
Completely different. Usyk is treating this like any other fight. Yeah, I think you can tell just by the answer there. He's like, yeah, I don't really need to think about him. I just need to think about what I'm going to do. Usyk's behavior throughout fight week has been identical to every single other fight. Tyson Fury is the one who looks to be changing behavior, and it showed even more in the press conference where he wouldn't even make eye contact with Usyk. So we've got both men side by side. They turn towards each other for the face-off, and Fury literally makes no attempt to look at Usyk in the eyes. Remember the way he talked about Usyk, about this little middleweight, you're nothing to me, easy fight, and now you're not even making eye contact with him. When you go eye to eye with a man like that, it's about squaring off. Are you fucking seeing any fear in this guy's eyes? Intimidating him, those last moments of letting him know, I ain't scared of you. To decline on that, after a whole career where Tyson Fury has always looked his opponents in the eyes and if anything been ultra aggressive, ultra confident in those moments, to refuse to do that, you're treating Oleksandr Usyk differently to what you've treated every single other opponent. So my natural instinct is to look at that and go, well, you feel differently about him then. And all the others were wins. So maybe Tyson is feeling, I'm not as confident about getting the win here. And so much so, I don't even want to look you dead in the eye because I don't want you to know I'm not there. I don't really know if I'm going to win this fight. And normally, when I know I'm going to win, I got no problem doing a fucking face-off with these guys. Look at his facial expression here as Usyk glares at him. He's smiling. He's nodding. It's a fake smile, that. It's a false smile. You can see, because when your eyes are deadpan, but your mouth is... It gives it away. You can see he's not got it in him. He's not happy to be there. And look, Fury could smash Usyk. But in this moment, he is nowhere near as confident as what I've seen him before. And I know I could be wrong. It's just how it looks to me. It's weird behaviour from Fury. Takes the hat off. You think he's going to... And now he starts singing. The maddest bit about it is Oleksandr Usyk just standing there like, I'm fucking looking straight at you, bro. It's not a good look for Fury. If I'm a Fury fan right now, I'm thinking, fuck, why do you not want to do what you always do? You always get the win. You always glare in their eyes. Well, what's different about this guy? Everything is the answer to that. In my opinion, Fury knows he's in there with the real motherfucker right now. That is one hell of a photograph. Tyson Fury's right eye. I don't know if it's picking up on the footage, but you can really see the scarred tissue there. And that, it's quite red. It doesn't look like it's fully healed at all. And one of those blasting left hands from Usyk straight on the corner of that eye, he could open that up really quickly. And potentially that's what this behavior is about. I'm not even saying, oh, Fury's scared of Usyk, that's why he's nervous. I think he understands what Usyk is, but maybe he's nervous about himself, about his legs, about his fitness, about whether his body will hold up, whether his eye will hold up. Because we've seen him looking like he's getting slower, and maybe he's like, fuck, this guy really might expose me here. So just to be clear, I'm not saying Fury is like scared of Usyk, but I think he's nervous about the possibilities of what could go wrong here. And ultimately, the man who'd be damaging him in that moment will be Usyk, so maybe there is a hint of fear there. So let's have a quick look at Fury's other press conferences to see just how different this behavior is. I mean, this was the last one he did with Usyk.
Including my ring magazine that I only vacated last year, so I can win it back 3 times sausage.
Standard Fury, right? And this was months and months ago, back in February, where he was ultra confident, very offensive, digging him out, but he didn't have to get in the ring with him in a matter of 48 hours. Very different attitude.
Guys, we invite you to take a seat.
You see what I mean? This is so different with Deontay Wilder.
You the one was on the ground. I was standing on top of you.
You're going to
I was standing on top of you.
Yeah.
You ever heard of David and Goliath?
Yeah.
You know that story, what happened?
Just aggressive, confident energy as per usual. Laughing and joking with Dillian White, relaxed. You can tell he's not stressed out in that one either. So Fury, writing and going his face here, talking to him, laughing at him, joking on, just playing around, ultra confident. Standard Fury. This is his baseline. This is normal for him amongst all of his other press conferences. And then we go back to this. It looks fucking mental. Usyk is stone cold, isn't he? Just walks forward, does his pose, and then leaves. I've never seen this look on Fury's face before. It feels forced. It doesn't feel like he's really in the moment the way he normally is. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So let me know in the comments below, is Fury rattled by Oleksandr Usyk? Because I think he is. I think this is a clear change of behaviour, and he is more fearful of this fight than he has been of probably any fight he's ever had before. I think he knows that this is going to be a hell of a task. And yeah, Fury could land the big shot and hurt Usyk and not have to worry about getting out boxed and all of that. He could just shut the lights out with a big shot. That could happen. But if that doesn't happen, I think there's every chance that Oleksandr Usyk not just beats Tyson Fury, but schools him. I think the quick feet and the quick hands of Usyk are going to have Tyson Fury like, whoa, what the fuck? This is too much for me. It's too quick. And you'll be getting pinged from shots he doesn't even see coming, in my opinion. And I think he'll get dropped. But the beauty of fighting is I could be wrong, and we're all going to find out on the night. Saturday night, we will be live on the Pain Game YouTube channel, me and all the boys reacting to the big fight. I hope you join us. Don't forget to switch the phone on, switch your laptop on while you're watching the fight, and you can order the fight using our link from DAZN in the description below. I really appreciate everyone who does that because it helps support the channel. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Pain Game YouTube channel, and I'll see you live for the fight on Saturday night.